Hey everybody, Charles here for HumbleMechanic.com, and I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of the Humble Mechanic video podcast, maybe, or webcam thing. Well, we'll figure out a name later on, but for those of you that don't know, my name's Charles. I'm a Volkswagen Master Certified Technician. I've been fixing Volkswagens and training new technicians for about 11 years now. Officially, I think October of 2003 is when I started with Volkswagen. In that time, I went from being the guy that had never earned $1 fixing cars to a top-level technician, not only in my shop, but one of about 220 or so master certified Volkswagen techs. It's been a long journey. I've worked really hard at it, and what I want to do is take some of the work that I've been doing at HumbleMechanic.com with my writing and bring it into a video series. The reason I want to go more video stuff is I can get in depth a lot more talking to you than I really can writing. For someone that barely passed high school English, to say that I'm technically a professional writer, I sure would like to rub that in the face of my smug high school English teacher. But you know, the writing's fun and I enjoy it. I'm all right at it, I think. But me sitting on the other side of a camera, just talking to you about cars, talking about the auto industry, talking about what a technician does throughout the day, I think is something that I can really embrace and really bring to life for you guys in a way that I'm just not able to do writing on the blog. For those of you that are following the blog and have been for a while, don't worry, the blog's not going anywhere. I'm still going to be doing shop shots. I'll probably still write a thing or two from time to time. I may try and develop like a weekly written thing. It's a really good outlet for me as far as, you know, dealing with some of the things that I deal with and sharing it with you and helping you guys, you know, whether you're a casual customer that just wants to make sure they don't get taken advantage of by the dealership, whether you're like a car person and you're really into cars and you want to share that end of your passion with me because I want to share that end of it with you, or you're a technician. And you know, when I first thought I really wanted to move to video, my initial thinking was the technician is where I can really help someone. I've had the fortunate ability to understand the way the industry works in a very unique way. I don't think it's unique, but based on a lot of the research I've done, it seems to be pretty unique. There's a lot of ace-level technicians that are top-notch guys that, you know, can fix their way out of anything. And then there's the other side of the industry where it really has earned the reputation that it has. And I've worked with guys like that. I've been around guys that, you know, give the guys that are really good and really care about our customers, they give us a bad name. So, like I was saying, initially I thought, man, I can really help technicians. I can help them, you know, earn more money and win more customers and build this huge customer base so that they don't have to worry when their next job's coming in. They already know I have, you know, 12 customers this week that will never bring their car anywhere else other than to me. But then I didn't want to leave out the other folks, the casual customer that all they care about is, will my car run? Will it start every time I turn the key? Can I bring it somewhere and find someone that I trust and that I can hand them my keys and say, you know, hey, Billy, fix my car and get it taken care of for me and call me when it's done. I can help you too, because I can give you tricks and techniques and ways to find someone that you trust like that. And then there's the person that's the car guy, you know, the one that's really into whatever brand you are into, or however you're into, you know, modifying your car, or tinkering or toying, or whether it's putting a new stereo in or doing something like, if you've been following the blog for any length of time, I'm sure you've seen like the VR6 Cabbie that I built last summer. And I'm pointing this way because it's actually on the other side of the wall here in the garage. This is my home studio. This is going to actually be a temporary studio for this series, while the garage is kind of being refurbished, aka turned into something that's not a nightmare like it is right now. Those of you guys that are car guys know, well, at least for me anyway, doing a project car is a disaster on the garage. So I want to make sure that the studio out there is set up a little bit nicer, other than just looking at the unfinished walls of the garage. But so again, I wanted to take all that stuff, all the stuff I've been writing about, all the stuff that you guys have had questions and we've talked about on the blog, and bring that into a video and audio format so that we can dive really, really, really deep in, and I can explain it and not have to write 1,500 word blog posts about how technicians get paid on flat rate and how that's good for a technician, it's bad for a technician, it's good for a customer, it's bad for a customer, it's really good for the dealership or the service station. Real quick on flat rate, if you don't know, we'll dive way into this later on. I just want to throw out some ideas for shows that I got. Flat rate's the way most technicians are paid. I think almost all dealership technicians are paid. There's some exceptions, but it's the way I've been paid since pretty much day one of turning wrenches. And we're basically paid on the job. So a job, brakes for example, pays 3 hours. If it takes you 4 hours to do, you've lost. If it takes you 1 hour to do, you've won. The book times are all set, and there's a whole, we can go all the way into it. Like I said, I don't want to do that today. I just want to drop that little bit of information about flat rate. So there's so much that we can cover regarding the auto industry. I'll probably start out talking more to the technicians, because again, that's where my specialty is. I've spent, I would say, the last 8.5 years being the trainer of new technicians in the shop. I've seen in the neighborhood of 20 or so technicians come through, maybe more than that. And that's been guys from UTI, Universal Technical Institute, guys that have went through Volkswagen Academy, guys that are straight out of school, guys that come from community college, automotive program, guys that have no automotive experience whatsoever that just want to learn how to do this as a career. I've had a lot of success training guys. I've had a lot of failures. I'll hold some responsibility for their failure. But I've always had that tough love mentality, and I think that tends to either really work well. It's how I learn, so naturally the way I learn is the way I project learning onto other people. So I've had a lot of good, a lot of bad. I can help you guys with that. Two skills actually that I really adopted early was writing stories. This really plays into warranty repairs, but you also need to be able to tell a customer what you've done to their car, what you need to do to their car, and writing those stories out is a skill that I have that I would say is probably a very, very top level skill in my shop at least. I'd like to believe in the industry, but again, there's a lot of guys that are razor sharp that forget more by breakfast than I'll ever know in my entire life. So, but I can also help kind of shift that idea a little bit, and we go from here with writing our stories to here with writing our stories, and that leads to a better repair order. It leads to more pay for the technician, and less things you have to worry about from a legal standpoint. The other side of what I'm really good at in the shop, and this is outside of fixing cars, is talking to customers. When I first started, I felt like I needed to pick something that I seen no one else doing, but I knew I could do. And talking to customers was really that skill. I had done a lot of retail work before starting to fix cars, so I knew how to talk to people. I knew how to interact with them. I knew how to say things that wouldn't make them mad, even though the situation wasn't a positive situation. And that kind of led more guys in the shop to start talking to customers, because they would see me talking to a customer and say, wow, he's talking to this customer and the customer's not yelling at him. He's making a ton of money. So what is he doing that I'm not doing? And interacting with customers was the big one. So we're gonna go with that there. There's a ton of other topics that I want to talk about and dive really, really deep into. The other thing on the blog that has seemed to be really popular is the series I did called "Do I Really Need This Service?" And when I'm around people that I meet for the first time and they find out what I do, there's always the question of, I went in for an oil change and they said I needed brakes. Do you think I really needed that? Or they told me I needed a coolant flush. Do I really need that? Or my blinker fluid is low. That's a joke. Do I really need that service? And talking about that and explaining, yes, you need brakes on your car. Yes, you need wiper blades on your car, and they all need to be in good working order. Do you need tires? Maybe. I don't know. Having some experience dealing with, whether it's reading about on the blog or whether it's listening to me talk, I'll put pictures and links to different sources and different information, and you can look at what a good tire looks like or a bad tire looks like. Learning the questions to ask a service advisor or a technician, all that stuff as a customer will help you avoid getting ripped off. Understand that car maintenance is expensive and it's going to cost you money to maintain your vehicle. We use our cars for so much. It gets us to work. It gets us to fun activities. We take our kids to school and soccer practice. It's such a huge part of our life, and we pay so little attention to it that it's sad, really, for someone that's not a car person like me. I can't wrap my mind around the fact that you're not thinking about your car all the time. But then I look at how my wife is with her car. Now, she doesn't have to worry about her car. All she needs to do is say, hey, Charles, my oil change is due, or my tire's low, or it made a weird noise, and I'll take care of it. But if you don't have that person in your household to help you with that, all the maintenance stuff and the issues get put on the back burner. So I want to make sure that everyone also has vehicle maintenance on the forefront of their mind, not day to day, but as something that is very, very important. As important, probably more important than getting the the iPhone 6 that just came out. Taking care of your car is more important than that, I promise you. We'll talk about car safety. We'll talk about building a toolkit. I've done some videos before on that, and that was really, really popular. We'll talk about things to keep in your car, beyond just a normal toolkit, beyond jumper cables. How to use the jack to change a tire on the side of the road. One of my most popular YouTube videos was a 10-minute video I shot kind of off the cuff, and it was how to use the Volkswagen jack, because the thing's weird, and if you've never seen someone use it, it's confusing. The other one was how to check a fuse, and I felt like such a jerk because this customer came in and I changed a fuse for her 12-volt outlet. She was really nice about it, and I gave her a couple extra because the newer car chargers, the ones made in China or the junk ones, really seem to affect Volkswagen 12-volt outlets a lot. So we're forever replacing fuses in the older cars, the newer cars. And I gave her 2 extra and I said, here's 2 more in case this happens again. And she looked at me with, eyes this big and said, I don't know what a fuse is. And I felt terrible because I thought, what do you mean you don't know what a fuse is? But, so many people don't live in the world that I live in and you other technicians live in, or the folks that, do blue collar type jobs for a living. and I shot a video of me with my iPhone pointed at the fuse panel on my Passat and went through how to check a fuse. So we'll talk about things like that. There's really almost an endless amount of topics that we can talk about, and I won't list every single one today because you probably don't have 4 hours to watch me just yammer on about automotive topics. But one more I want to make sure I mention is we are definitely going to talk about tools. As my fellow mechanics or technicians know, you very, very quickly become a tool person, and at least for me, I love buying tools. I love getting new tools. I love whether it's a ratchet or a hammer, as lame as buying a hammer is, an impact gun, electric tools, air tools, woodworking tools. My wife's uncle sent me a couple of woodworking tools, and the coolest one, on a quick side note, was a sander that looked like it was from the 70s. It's made out of metal. It's the boxes with it. I'll post a picture on the blog or something, or a link in this post, because it's just such a cool thing. And it's had some stories behind it, a lot of heritage, which that kind of stuff really, really, really impacts me, and I love it. But I think I'm going to wrap up there. If you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, I'm more than willing to take some valuable feedback. If you want to just call me a jerk or say that I don't make eye contact with the camera, that's cool, but save your keystrokes for something more important than that. If you have topics you want to talk about, though, post it in the comments, because I'd love to hear it. I really want to know what you guys want to hear. Otherwise, you're just listening to me talk to you about whatever I think you want to hear about, which is fun too, because it's what I want to know about. Subscribe on YouTube, sign up for email updates on the blog, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Basically, if you go and search Humble Mechanic, you'll find me, or a place in Texas called Humble that also has mechanics, which is hilarious. Again, thanks for watching, guys. Look forward for more videos, and I will see you guys.